Hi everyone, thanks for visiting my channel, and in this video I'm going to be asking the question, how much do you really believe the media? Like, truthfully, do you believe everything they're saying? Do you believe half of what they're saying? Do you believe a quarter of what they're saying? How much do you really believe the media? So this is the third time that I'm recording this video, by the way, because what I want to tell you, what I've been trying to tell you, is that let me give you a little bit of backstory about the American mainstream media. The American mainstream media is literally owned by globalists, okay? Everything is manipulated, everything is psychological warfare, everything is mind control. So when you're looking at all these major news networks, and even you have to question Newsmax and OAN, the One American News Network, you have to really use your discernment because they play dirty and they cheat. So we know this because the mainstream media never, ever reports or talks about the massive, horrific problem of child sex trafficking, which is much greater than the virus. That is the real pandemic. They've never talked about elite pedophilia, which runs rampant in this country and all over the world. So, here and there they'll talk about or release reports about, high-level pedophiles that have been arrested, but they do it in long stretches of time. So the reason why they report these arrests with like a lot of time in between them is because what's happening is in between that time, there's arrests every day of people getting busted for pedophilia, child pornography, priests getting exposed on a daily basis, pastors being exposed and being arrested. And then you have the monumental amount of perverts and the demand for child pornography and child sex trafficking in this country. It's monumental. The problem is a million times worse than the virus. So the mainstream media doesn't come close to exposing what's really going on out there. The child pornography industry and the sex trafficking industry are hand in hand, and they make billions and billions of dollars each every year. And they're selling people online. They're selling them online. You can buy someone online. These globalists and these new world order asswipes are literally making so much money in the sex industry. It's not even funny. And they will not expose it on the level that it really is, because the owners of these mainstream media, news networks, they're all involved. So ask yourself, why didn't any of the news networks report that back in March and April of 2020, there were 6 million calls to the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children? Don't you think that America should know about that to protect our children, our future? I mean, if you think about it, in the next 20 or 30 years, you're going to have millions and millions of adults walking around this country full of massive sexual trauma, all these horrible memories. They're going to have to be on medication, even worse than now. I mean, it's very difficult to live in a body that is connected to a mind that has major sexual abuse trauma. It's very difficult to go out into the world and function as a normal person without being on any type of drug or any type of mind-altering substance, because you can't do it. It's very, very difficult. And also, this country does not have the correct amount of treatment. There are not enough programs for people that have been sexually abused and traumatized. People are self-medicating and they are committing suicide. They're dying. They are making very, very bad decisions for their life. They're going down the wrong paths because they're literally just trying to get away from their own memories. And to add to the fact that there aren't enough programs for people that have had sexual abuse trauma, there aren't enough affordable programs. There are not enough accessible programs that are implemented into our communities. They just put you on pharmaceutical drugs and think that's going to help. The whole system needs to be broken down and built up again the right way. Because when you think about it, you've got little 8-year-old and 9-year-old girls that are being pushed into the school system, and they're like not able to function because they're being sexually abused. How do you take a test, and how do you focus, and how do you really grasp learning and education when all you thinking about is the fact that, oh, yesterday this guy just sexually abused me and touched me inappropriately. What am I supposed to do about that? How do you focus? How does a little girl or a teenager or anybody at any age, or even the boys that are being abused, how do you focus in school? How do you make good grades in school when all you're thinking about, and you have this barrage of memories of you being abused? Nobody ever thinks about that. Nobody ever talks about that. So back to the whole mainstream media issue. So the mainstream media is playing with everyone's minds and beliefs. It is a tool for psychological manipulation. The television has always been a tool for psychological manipulation. They're training you how to think. They've been training us how to think since television even became a thing. So just think about certain things that you're reading and seeing before you start believing it. So to give you a few examples of what I'm talking about as far as what you're seeing on mainstream media and what really goes on energetically behind it all. So one example, Jeffrey Epstein, he is not dead. He is very much alive. And he was replaced. He was taken out of that jail cell. They put somebody back in, and the pictures that you saw, everything that you see on Wikipedia, it's all fake. It's fake. That's all for public viewing. Number 2, JFK Jr. He is still alive. I looked in his eyes in many different photos, and his energetic reading was that he is still in his body in this reality that we're in now. It's very, very strong, and it's there. The third example is the whole George Floyd psyop. Now, George Floyd is still alive. That whole entire debacle in Minneapolis was all a huge psyop. George Floyd and, what was his name? The cop. Anyway, the cop that put his knee on his neck, they knew each other. They worked together. That was all planned. Literally, like the next day they started looting and rioting. Like it was all planned. And George Floyd is still alive. The fourth example I'm going to give you is Ashley Babbitt, the girl that they claimed was shot at the Capitol on January 6th. I looked at her photo, I looked into her eyes, and she's very much still alive. She's part of a program. The mainstream media lies, and they lie on a monumental level. The American public has been so betrayed and so tricked and so manipulated on such a deep level that it's hard for some people to snap out of that because it threatens their entire belief system, and they will start to freak out. This is what they've done to us. This is what they've done to the people. It's horrible what they've done. And 9/11 was an inside job. It's complete crimes against humanity on a monumental level. And some people will never snap out of it because they have based their whole life around a lie. And they don't know any other way. They don't know any other perspective. They don't know anything else. It's just what it is. And, can you imagine being a fish, living in a fish bowl, and then somebody comes up to you and says, hey, there's an entire ocean out there that you could explore and live in. Would you like to do that? that's why there are so many people out there that will, that have called me crazy. They said that I need to be institutionalized, that I'm batshit crazy. I like that one. They've called me every name in the book. And that's what happens when ego gets threatened. When ego gets threatened, it will lash out at whoever is threatening their belief system and their way of life. So a lot of people don't want to see any other perspective. They don't want to do that because it literally puts them in a state of shock. So they will fight against anybody who says anything other than what they've been trained to think. And they don't even realize that they have been programmed and trained to think certain things. And once you've realized and gotten past the whole trying to bring people down and insult people and make other people feel bad, once you've realized that you don't need to do that to get to where you need to be on a higher consciousness level. That's something that people do that makes themselves feel better and feel validated because the ego is so inflated and takes over their entire belief system and in their entire mind. So once you've defeated that ego, you know that you're on the right path to where you need to be, consciously, frequency-wise, vibrational-wise, and you know that you're good. Because years ago, when people started attacking me and sending me all this negative energy and these horrible psychic attacks, I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to do this anymore because it was really bothering me. And every time I would read the comments, my heart would start to pound because I was going into this like, oh my God, I have to attack back and I'm going to tell them what I think of them. And it came to the point where that wasn't helping me. It just getting past that and having a higher mind and going past that is so much stronger, because when you are giving back to a negative person negativity and you're going at them with the same energy that they came to you with, it's going to make you sick and it's going to just bring your energy down and it's going to bring your vibe down. And you don't want to do that. You want to just either ignore them or block them, or don't even waste your energy. That's the thing. Don't waste your energy, because your energy is so precious and you need it for other more important things. So, people that do that, they're not worth your time. So anyway, back to the mainstream media madness around the world. Do not trust what you're seeing on the news networks. And as you've seen, because of the censoring, the big tech companies are all involved in globalist New World Order domination. And really, the only way to fight and to win this cyber World War III war is to delete yourself from technology. All the apps, Google, Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, all of it. Take yourself out of it. But they have made it to where the system is so, people are so in it, so deep. They're so in this whole new technology thing, and they've become obsessed with it. And, that's another big problem. So basically their plan was get everybody obsessed with big tech and all these little, new things that come out, and then use it against you. That's what they're doing. They got you obsessed. They got you obsessed, and now they're using it against you. So that's what their game is. That's what New World Order and globalists, that's what they do. They put they dangle a carrot out in front of your face, and then they turn it around, and then they trap you, and then you're done. So anyway, I'm going to end it there. Thank you for joining me in this video. And if you liked it, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And I'll see you in the next video.